Welcome, fifth graders. This lesson will be focusing on estimating products and quotients using decimals. At the end of the lesson, you will be able to estimate and solve division and multiplication problems using the standard algorithm. Estimating with multiplication and division. How does estimation help me to solve multiplication or division problems? Instead of rounding each number to a given place value, we round the leading digit. With multiplication, rounding decimals before multiplying is one way to find an estimate. 3 4/10 times 4 6/10. Let's practice estimating with this problem here. So in this case, 3 4/10 rounds to 3. And in this case, 4 6/10 rounds to 5. And 3 times 5 will give me 15. So my estimated product for this answer would be 15. I also want to solve the problem using an actual answer, finding out what the actual answer is. So I rewrite the problem and I solve. Once I solve the problem, I get 1564. I don't bring the decimal down in my problem because it will be confusing. I put the decimal in at the end. Now I noticed that it's important for me to figure out where this decimal goes. And in order for me to figure out where this decimal goes, I use my estimated answer to help me. My estimated answer, or my estimated product, shows 15. So I'm trying to figure out where the decimal should go. If it goes behind the 4, it will make the answer, the problem, 1,564. I don't want that. If I place it here, it becomes 156 4/10. If I place it here, in between the 5 and the 6, it becomes 15 6400. Well, since my estimated answer is 15, that seems about right. And so with that, I place my decimal in between the 5 and the 6. And that's a more reasonable answer. Let's move on to the next question. Estimate to the nearest whole number, the product of 1 8/10 and 5 2/10. I want you to pause here and give it a try for yourself. I'll be back with you shortly to see how you do. All right, we're back. And now we have to estimate to the nearest whole number. So looking at this problem, I'm going to first write it out. 1 8/10 times 5 2/10. And I'm going to estimate. I know that 1 8/10, because the number to the right of the 1 is higher than 5, it's going to round up to the next digit. And so that number is going to round to 5. And 2 times 5 becomes 10. So I know it looks like my estimated product will be 10. And that's actually an answer in the problem. But of course, I want to find my actual answer. So I complete the standard algorithm and solve the multiplication problem. And when I do, I get the product of 9, 3, 6. If my estimated answer is 10, I have to think about where that decimal should go. If I put it in between the 3 and the 6, the answer is 93. If I put it after the 6, the answer is 936. If I put it in between the 9 and the 3, the answer is 9 3600. And so I know that 9 3600 is way closer to 10 than any other, than placing the decimal in any other place. And so I'm going to go ahead and put the decimal right in the middle of 9 and 3. And that's my actual answer. Excellent job. Let's move on. And now it's time for you to practice on your own. 2 4/10 times 8/10. Go ahead and give it a try. Pause this video to do so. All right, let's start solving. 2 4/10 should have rounded for you to 2. And 8/10 should have rounded to 1. 2 times 1 gives me 2. So I know that my product, the estimated product, will be about 2. And so now I'm going to find my actual answer and solve. And when I solve, I get 192. That's the actual answer. 1 and 92 hundredths. So if you got this answer, you did a great job. Good job, boys and girls. Now let's try some division. 63 hundredths divided by 6. Same thing, just different operation. So I'm looking for my leading digit. It's a 0 in this case, and I don't really want to use a 0 to help me solve this. So I'm going to use the 6 in the tens place and the 3 to the right of the number to help me figure out if it should stay the same or if it should go up a digit. And in this case, I know that 63 hundredths rounds easier to 60, and I keep the 6 the same. I rewrote it over here so you can see it both ways when I actually solve after my estimate. And so once I solve it, I get 10 hundredths. So let's actually go through and solve it and see what we get as our answer. My estimated quotient is about 10 hundredths. And so here's my actual answer. I go through the process. So looking at my estimated answer versus my actual answer definitely shows that it may not be exact, but it's very close. It's very close. Remember that an estimate is an answer that is not exact, but is an approximate or reasonable answer. So let's try one together. I showed you this one. Now we're going to try one together. 42 and 14 hundredths divided by 7. Same thing. I'm looking at what number would be easiest for me to round, and it looks like 42. I know that 42 is a multiple of 7, so this should be pretty simple. I'm going to rewrite the problem so you can see it here. And now I'm going to take 42, and I'm looking at the digit to the right, the 1, and I'm going to go ahead and bring down just 42 divided by 7. And I know that that equals 6. So my estimated quotient is going to be about 6. So now it's time to actually solve. Same process, and there's my answer. And hot diggity dog, my quotient is about 6. I'm right on target. All right, the next problem you guys are going to try by yourself. 284 thousandths divided by 4. Give it a try, pause this video, and come back with when you have completed the problem. All right, how did you do? Let's see. 284 thousandths divided by 4. Just by looking at it, if I wanted to estimate this problem, I would say 28 hundredths divided by 4. Of course, I want to rewrite it. Well, 28 hundredths divided by 4 gives me 7 hundredths. And then on the other side, I'm going to rewrite it. And here we go. We solved it at the bottom. And your answer should have been 71 thousandths. This answer is another answer that is pretty reasonable to our estimate. We're on the ball. We're on a roll. All right. And so your quotient is about 7 hundredths. Your quotient is about 7 hundredths. All right. Now we will work on compatible numbers. The last section focused on rounding, estimating, but estimating using the leading digits of a decimal. This time, we're going to really focus in on how we can use basic facts to help us find compatible numbers in order to find the quotient of a problem or the product of a problem. Compatible numbers are numbers that are easy to add, subtract, multiply, or divide mentally. Compatible numbers are close in value to the actual numbers that make estimating the answer and solving problems easier. Like I mentioned before, we are going to focus on basic facts, numbers that come to our mind very easy and that we can work a problem around when we're dividing or multiplying a problem. In this case, with compatible numbers, you can use either the dividend or the divisor when you are trying to solve for a quotient. Today, I am going to be showing you how to use the dividend to find compatible numbers. Let's give it a try. 28 and 8/10 divided by 9. I want to estimate the quotient. And in order to do this, I need to think of all of my basic facts. And when I'm thinking about them, of course, I'm thinking about the nines. And so when I think about the nines, I think 9, 18, 27. But sometimes it doesn't come that easy to us. So when that is the case, I like to write them out. So my facts for my 9 times 1 equals 9. 9 times 2 equals 18. 9 times 3 equals 27. 9 times 4 equals 36. And 9 times 5 equals 45. So I found my multiples of 9. I'm looking for the multiple closest to 28. Well, looking at my problems, I noticed that 28 falls right in between 27 and 36. So I want to use both of those to help me get closer to the best estimate. So here I have 9 times 3 equals 27 and 9 times 4 equals 36. I noticed that the product 27 is much closer to 28 than the product of 36. And so I want to use 9 times 3 equals 27 as the basic fact to help me figure out the quotient for this problem. And so we can take it all the way back to fact families. 9 times 3 is 27. 3 times 9 is 27. 27 divided by 9 equals 3. And 27 divided by 3 equals 9. I'm going to use the fact family 27 divided by 3 equals 9. 27 divided by 9 equals 3 because that's closest to the problem that I'm looking at that we have to work to solve. And so I know that quotient for that problem is 3. So I know here that my estimated quotient is most likely going to be 3 as well. All right. Let's try another one so we can get some practice in. Here's the question. What is the best estimate for this problem? Take a look and see if you can figure it out first. And then I want you to pause me. And when you come back, we'll work through this problem together. All right. Let's get started. The first thing I want to do, of course, is list my multiples of 4. I can list them either by just writing down 4, 8, 12, or again, I can show you each basic fact. 4 times 1 equals 4. 4 times 2 equals 8. 4 times 3 equals 12. I didn't list as many this time around because I got the number that I was looking for. My dividend shows 8 as the whole number. And once I got to 8, I knew there was no need to continue on. And so 8 and 52/100ths falls in between 8 and 12 here. So I know that my basic fact is going to be 4 times 2, which equals 8, and 4 times 3, which equals 12. And now I can immediately see what my quotient could possibly be. My estimated quotient could possibly be. And I am going to go with 4 times 2 equals 8, which means that my estimated quotient is probably going to be 2. And I chose 2 because I see that 8 divided by 4 gives me 2. And that's the whole number before I even add the decimal behind it. And so that's how I got my answer. Now you guys are going to try some problems on your own. Good job with that. I forgot to show your hand clap. Give your hand clap. And you're going to try some problems on your own. Let's start practicing. Here's your first question. Where is the best place to add a decimal? We talked about this a lot in the beginning of the lesson. So now your job is to figure out where you think the decimal should go in the quotient provided. Please use compatible numbers to help you answer this question. Number 2, estimate the problem below. You're solving to figure out what's the best answer for this problem. Number 3, what is the best estimate of the product 8 2/10 and 3 4/10? And last but not least, circle the cards that fall into the category listed in the box. Think about compatible numbers when estimating each quotient. So we're doing the same exact thing we were doing in the latter part of this lesson. The only difference is you're looking for quotients that fall in between 0 and 1. So your quotient will not represent a whole number. Remember that as you are working through each problem. And since you can't circle the cards, just write them down on your paper and check your work when you're done. Good luck. Thank you for working with me. I'll see you soon.